your host, Angie, for the Soul Alignment Mentor. And if you are just tuning in for the first time and listening to me, I do spiritual mentoring and holistic therapy, really, with those who are going through a spiritual awakening or wanting to heal spiritually. And I'm also an author. I have 2 books, Leaf Lessons and Composting Ego. If you are interested in those, they are both on Amazon, or you can find them anywhere online. And so you can read up about my own personal story and also read some channeled messages that I have received about healing from spirit. And that leads me into something I wanted to talk about today that you might be feeling right now. There's a big energy shift happening on the earth where people are stepping into wanting to live their most authentic life. This might be causing you to feel really some discomfort in your personal life right now, whether that is in relationships or in your job. There might be some areas in your life that you're feeling like you would like to change, or you're not as satisfied with how they are going. And what is happening right now energetically is there's an attempt to help people to release old energies that have held them back from believing in themselves. That could be self-limiting beliefs, or even from trauma that you've experienced in your past. And if you know anything about animals, when they have a traumatic event, for example, if there is a deer that's being chased by a lion out in the wilderness somewhere, if the deer is able to get away, what will happen is the deer will stop after the event and then shake all of the energy out of its body so that it can move forward and let go of all the trauma and all the energy that it just experienced why it was being chased. But humans don't do that. Humans often go through a traumatic event and then we hold the energy in our body. And so, in order for us to heal events in our body, we have to know what it is that needs to be shooken out of us and how to do that. And that's really where I put most of my focus in services, is to help people learn how to work with their own energy, which in turn would also give them more inner strength and then the ability to change their thinking about themselves and the world around them. But you first have to understand what it is that you need to shake off. Like like the animal, it knows it's shaking off the energy of what just happened, what just it went through by being chased and its life being threatened. And even humans will have experience in, during their life, that they feel like their life is being threatened even if it's not. But a lot of the trauma is stored in the body because the body and the mind feels alone in that circumstance. And until that is acknowledged, it is stored in the body and will cause you to feel a certain way in your life, whether that be in relationships or in a job or in any way that you might be struggling in your life. And so being able to work with the energetic system and know how to release that energy will help you to move forward in life and reprogram your thinking. So I did want to take a call today before I ended, and I see that Renee from in Margaret, New Jersey is on with us.
Yes.
Is Renee? Hi, Renee.
Hi.
How are you today?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good. It's rainy where I am, so it's one of those days I want to take a nap, but it's good. So, are you calling
Good.
in for general reading, or is there a specific thing that you wanted to get answered?
I'd like to, I guess a general reading.
A general?
I think that's
Okay.
safer.
Okay.
That's safer.
Okay. Is there a topic that you want me to tune in for, or just
I would like to know, is things going to get better?
okay, are things going to get better? So the way I do my reading is I'm going to pull a oracle card, and I will just connect with this card to see what spirit is wanting to say to you directly through it. So I may pull a couple of those, And then I will just see if what I'm hearing from spirit is aligned with what you are wanting or needing at the time. And so I will just start out by pulling one of these oracle cards. They just have little sayings on them that will get me connected with your spirit team and my spirit team to know what is going on. And you know what's really
Thank
interesting is I just pulled this card right before I started this today. I wanted to tune in to see what message to bring today, and this is the card that came out for the today's message, so it must have been for you as well. Prior spirit knew that you would be calling in today. So this says inner
you. Wow.
strength. And it this explains inner strength as nothing moves me from the path to the light because I have complete confidence in myself. I release my innate qualities and abilities and know that with God, I can do anything. All the power I need is within me. And so this is telling me right here that some of the things that you were struggling with, um, I'm sensing there's quite a few things. I think there might be some struggles. Like I'm hearing in my spirit like a questioning or like a worry around possibly finances or like a decision you're wanting to make. Um, and I feel like there might be some confusion on how to move forward for you. Does this make sense?
Yes, very much.
Okay. So, what I'm hearing Spirit wanting to encourage you is to remember that you are connected to source energy. You are connected to God at all times. We just forget that because we start to look at the circumstances around us, and that causes us to fear. And fear gets in the way of what Spirit is trying to guide us in. And then we lose the ability to connect with our intuition and make decisions based on what our spirit is guiding us to do. And so I'm hearing spirit say to you, just remember that you deep inside of you is the answers and the what you desire, the desired outcome that you want. You have that ability to do it. It's just, if you were listening prior to when we started this reading, I was talking about how the animals will shake off trauma in order to reconnect with themselves. Because what happens is when we go through things in our lives, that energy from that experience gets connected in with our energetic field and with our ego. Our ego begins to believe a certain way about things. And then that's how we view our life. That's how we view things around us. That's how we view ourselves. And so we get confused on our human beliefs and the way we see the world, and then our spiritual understanding. Because when we take a step back and we look at things from our higher self, our higher perspective, we understand in some ways that the things around us are a reflection of what's happening internally. And what I'm actually hearing spirit wanting to say to you right now, is there um is there something that you feel like you're supposed to be doing but you're not sure if you're supposed to do it?
Well, I always worry about taking care of my mom the right way. That's always my fear.
Okay. So are you kind of the sole person that's like taking care of her? Is she like struggling with her health, or
Well,
is she
she's
actually
90.
she's
She's
90?
90,
Okay.
and I mean, she's on 100%, but thank goodness she's okay.
Right, right. Does she live with you or near you? Is
She she lives near me. She doesn't live with me. She didn't want to live with me. That was an
okay.
issue.
Okay, so she's still wanting to be pretty independent, which
Yes,
is great for 90. So
yes.
here's something that, I really feel like spirit wants you to know is that anything that you do out of the energy of love, anything that you do that is in service to another person is always aligned with what Spirit would want you to do, because love is our greatest mission in this life. Our spirit is pure love. And so, therefore, what you provide in love will always be reflected back to you. Now, I'm also kind of sensing that sometimes this strain takes away from your own self and taking care of your needs. Does that happen?
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
that's what I'm going through right now.
Okay. And because I just heard Spirit say she needs to take care of herself, because here's reality. There's not a single person in the entire world that's going to make it out alive. You and I won't, nobody will. And it doesn't mean that we neglect things or we let things go. It just means that we have a perspective that things are eternal, that things will always remain. And so I hear Spirit saying to you, continue to provide support and love, but don't neglect that for yourself, because your cup is empty. You are pouring from an empty cup right now, and this is causing you to feel more stressed than what you should. You can't give what you don't have. And so Spirit is wanting you to set boundaries around your time, around how much you think about this. Particularly, I'm hearing a mental strain more so than physical, because you worry a lot. You worry, am I doing enough? Am I supposed to do this? And it's almost like there's times, like I just got this message that you will do things even when you don't want to. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Okay.
very much.
Okay. So I feel like the most important message is for you today is to remember to come back to self and self care. Um, and then since we do have such a short amount of time today, you're always welcome to reach out. And I do healing sessions with people to help them to kind of pull their energy back in and be able to manage these things. But Spirit's main message to you today is love yourself first. That's what Spirit wants to say to you. So I do hope that
Thank
is
you.
helpful. You are
That is
very,
very helpful. I can't thank you enough. Thank you.
you are
Thank
very
you
welcome.
so much.
Yes, and you definitely will be praying for you, and just hang in there and just know everything done in love always returns back. But do that for yourself first.
Thank
So,
you.
you are welcome. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. If you would like to reach out, you can always find me on my website, angieharris.org. Look forward to seeing you next week.